Cutting to rhythm, right? How is the overall rhythm that you're choosing to cut in affecting the overall feeling from that sequence? It's really important to change the rhythms in your editing to keep things moving, right? To keep things interesting, to get into different little pockets where you have fast pacing, a fast rhythm, and then you slow things down, and then you come to a medium speed, and then you speed back up. This keeps the audience kind of really engaged, on their toes. If you know exactly what's going to happen next, you don't need to really pay attention. Exactly like in a song structure, where you can have a certain amount of bars that are the intro, and then there's the hook and the... Let's see, how does the song work? Yes, okay, perfect. So it's exactly like a song structure where you can have an intro, your first verse, your chorus, your second verse, your second chorus, your bridge, your third chorus, and your ending. And so this is most obvious when we're actually cutting to a song, because when we're cutting to a soundtrack, we're following the rhythm and that pacing of that soundtrack. And we can be cutting every 2 bars, then cutting every 4 bars, then holding long shots for maybe 8 bars or 16 or whatever it is for that specific moment. Now, this rhythm isn't locked down to just cutting to a soundtrack. There are different rhythms that you can get into when cutting a dialogue scene or a conversation scene, right? You don't want to have all long 4-second shots, all long 8-second shots. You want to keep a certain rhythm and pacing going, because that is the momentum for your scene. So you can actually think of it as, you know, the beats per minute or the BPM of an actual scene that you're cutting. If you have the same BPM, it can get kind of boring. You want to switch these things up. If you want to bring up the excitement, you're going to cut to a faster beat. If you want to slow things down for that certain contrast and allow for that conversation and absorption to happen, you can consciously do that. So let's take a look at this example. There's a lot of different rhythms that are happening in this edit. For this one in particular, I am cutting to a specific song, but just kind of consciously and visually see the different pockets of pacing that we get into on this cut.
You're in the mix with DJ Dynamics.
DJ Dynamics, let's go.
And so in this example, I didn't go into the little pockets of change in rhythm and pace. Rather, I just stuck to a very basic and standard cutting time frame.
You're in the mix with DJ Dynamics.
So you can see that we create a visual soundtrack of what the audio is telling the audience. Now, if we only paid attention to cutting every 2 bars or cutting every 4 bars, it would be a very bland video. But there are these quick moments and these slow moments in the soundtrack that we show visually by cutting to that specific rhythm that we want to express. And this creates a much more dynamic and interesting content, regardless of the footage that I captured, until I bring it into post-production and choose a rhythm that I want to follow, not just one rhythm, but a more dynamic, different set of grouping different shots at different paces together, we can create a really impactful edit simply by using rhythm.